Now, to take this further, we are being joined by Jonah Blank from Washington, D.C. He's the former foreign policy advisor to President Joe Biden and also a senior journalist and author. Mr. Blank, good to see you again. I want to take your quick reaction on how Donald Trump has compared these protests that are happening across universities in the U.S. to the 6th January Capitol riots.
Well, thank you for having me. Mr. Trump's comparison is clearly absurd. On January 6th, thousands of his supporters attempted to stage a coup d'etat. The issue is not damage to the physical U.S. Capitol, it was damage to American democracy. The protesters on many college campuses are not doing anything remotely comparable to that. In almost all cases, these are nonviolent protests. The very few exceptions are individuals who should be disciplined as individuals rather than the entire protest movement. So I don't think anyone could seriously compare these two events.
Right. Mr. Blank, the last time we spoke, we briefly spoke about how US's foreign policy will not really change even if Donald Trump or any other Republican comes to power in this November. But at the moment, the kind of protest, the magnitude of the protest rather you are seeing across the country in US, how do you see this affecting the elections that are due in just 7 months from now?
Well, first off, US policy will change if Donald Trump is brought back into power. As we saw during his first time in power, Trump was the most pro-right-wing Israeli government president that the United States has ever had. So as much as protesters are displeased with President Biden's stance, and in my view, rightly so, they would be far more displeased with a Trump administration policy. So politically, these protests do hurt Joe Biden, and he really should, in my view, be taking them very seriously. But let's make no mistake, a Trump presidency would be far more aligned with the practices and goals of Netanyahu and his right-wing Israeli government than anything coming out of the Biden administration.
Right, Mr. Blank, according to what you said, that doesn't leave the voters much of a choice if they are already unhappy under the Joe Biden administration. But thank you for speaking with us and getting us all those insights from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.